Hey everybody, welcome back. Happy Saturday. I wanted to do a quick short video today because my producer, also known as my 12-year-old son, said that I should do short videos. So I will see if I can keep this to, I think the 2 minutes he said that constitutes a short video. So without further ado, I wanted to just describe a little bit about the differences between thrift, consignment, and resale. They're often used very interchangeably, but they're actually not the same thing. And so it's just kind of good to know what you are looking at. And also I think that sometimes when people bought something at a consignment store, they tend to pay a little bit more because it's been vetted, it's been selected, it's been managed a little bit more, and a percentage of that goes back to the owner. And I'll get to that in a second. But usually there is a bit more of an investment that goes into those pieces. So if you tell somebody, oh my God, did you get that at a thrift store? They kind of think, no, it wasn't a $4 thing off of the rack that I had to dig through piles of junk to get to. So there's a little bit of a thing there. But quickly, thrift. Thrift stores are the ones where people donate their items that they no longer want without expecting anything in return, except for maybe perhaps a tax receipt so they can write off the charitable contribution that they have made. Those are the things like Goodwill, Salvation Army. They're usually either called thrift stores or sometimes charity shops, and they usually have a particular organization that they benefit. They might benefit a church, a children's hospital, some kind of local nonprofit company, and the proceeds after they pay their employees and their overhead is what goes into that profitable and non-profitable, I guess, the charitable endeavor. So that is thrift stores. They usually keep their prices low. They usually don't do much more selection other than to weed out the things that are truly unsellable, that are damaged, in really poor condition, or unsanitary in some ways. So that's a thrift store. A consignment store is usually higher priced, and it's when people bring their items in. The people who own the consignment store will go through a batch of things and select the things that they want to sell in their store. Then they usually put those in the store, and then when and if they sell, they do some kind of profit sharing. They split the proceeds. So sometimes it's a 50-50, sometimes it's a 60-40 split, but you can usually expect to pay a little bit more in consignment stores because they've done the work for you. And they usually provide, depending on the quality of the store, they usually provide a nice shopping environment and an experience. Sometimes they do returns, sometimes they don't. It really depends on the business model. But so the price points tend to be a little bit higher, but the quality and the caliber of the goods, if you're shopping at a good consignment store, also tend to be higher. The last one is resale. Resale are places like Plato's Closet. I don't know if that's actually a national chain now or not, but we had it in San Francisco where I grew up, and we have it here in Georgia as well. And the resale is you bring in a batch of things. They look at them usually on the spot, and they offer to buy all the pieces that they want from you for a certain price point. As a owner of items that I'm trying to sell, that is usually the lowest amount that I will get in return for these clothing items. And it depends on the store. Like Plato's Closet, for example, really tends to cater towards a much younger market. So it has to be things that are trendy for that market. Otherwise they won't take them, and they sometimes will turn down really nice designer pieces of clothing because that's not their market, which can be quite smart in some ways. So you get paid on the spot, and you get paid a lower price point than what you would probably make at a consignment store. And the reason for that is that the stores like Plato's Closet are assuming all of the risk that those items are going to sell. And usually they sell half of those items. So they're stuck with a bunch of them that they then have to process. And that just means that they have to lower their risk as much as they can while still providing some recompense for the owner of the items. So I've totally run over my 2 minutes, but that is the short explanation and the difference between thrift, consignment, and resale. I suggest you check out all types of those stores if you have them in your area. And maybe in another video, we will talk about kind of the online secondhand shopping sources. Okay, that's it for now. I'm gonna go work in the garden.